In the last video, I showed you the interface of Filmora and some basic tools. In today's video, I'm going to show you how the audio, the transition and etc. all these panels work. I'll be using the sample clips given by Filmora so that you can also practice using those. Editing is all about putting your shots in a logical sequence to create a story. Here we go. I'm going to pull some clips, the sample clips from the Filmora library itself, create a logical sequence, and then we'll begin to edit them. Now I have arranged the clips on the timeline in the way I felt it could be a logical flow. We have the leaves, we have a drone shot of the island, the cyclist placing a cycle, they begin to cycle, establishing shot of the cyclist, a nice shot of the beach, they're looking around and probably they're staring at the water body. This is where I've ended my clip for now. It's a 15-20 seconds of short film that I created a sequence out of. Now we'll see how the other panels above work. Now moving to the first panel, which is the audio panel. Now that we have the sequence placed in a logical way, we know nothing is going to go here and there. We start to look for audio that we want for this particular project. Let's look at the audio panel. The audio library has stock music, as you can see here. It is as per the genre and the mood. You can pick and choose the audio that suits your video's mood. You have young and bright, you have tender and sentimental, you have rock. Depending upon what you are editing, you can pick the music that matches the mood of your clips. So we have the sound effects folder to add a specific type of sound like the car horn, then you have explosions and lots more. Today we are going to only cover the panels and how they actually work in making your video look good. We will be having a separate video on audio level placements and how to add sound effects to your video, taking them to the next level, and that will be in the upcoming video. Let's move on to the titles panel now. What is the title? Titles are basically animated text that you can put on your videos to make them look nice, because you do need a text support at some places. So as you can see, there are a lot of stuff. You have custom, which you have openers, you have other stuff. Now what is the opener? Opener is basically when you are starting your video. These are used to tell your audience about the film main title, and this is placed just before the start of your video. I can pick and choose any title and place it right in the beginning of the video to tell people what is this video all about. That is the opening title, which works just before the film actually starts. Then you have these titles. Titles are basically an overlay on the footage. If you don't want to use the openers, you can simply use the title and you can use the option to place it over the footage. Like if I want to place this particular title, I have placed it here and it has appeared here. I will simply trim it as per my clip's original duration, double click. I can select the color because now it is overlapping the white into white. Here we go. I select the top one and I will select black over here. So this is just a basic thing to show you how it works. Let me play it back and show you how it works. So here we go, your title here. So you can place anything that you want and simply start playing your video. Then you have the lower thirds. Now what are lower thirds? Lower thirds are basically used to put a name tag of a person along with some added information. Now we have the cyclist and we need to put his name. So simply I'll go to lower third. I will choose any one I want to from just that suits the mood of the video. Drag and drop. Here we go. I'll trim it as per the original clip. I'll put his name. I will name him Josh Johnson, and his title could be "He's a Pro Cyclist." It went a little too fast, but you can place it anywhere else, and this is just to show you how it actually works. So we have Josh Johnson and he's a pro cyclist. So this is how The lower third works when you want to give a character a name or introduce any character by telling its name. Like suppose you're editing a film for a corporate company, you can say, okay, this person, his name is XYZ and his designation is a managing director or a CEO. That's how you can put a lower third and introduce the person by putting his name and designation. Now moving on to subtitle. What is subtitle? We all know, right? This is simply a text overlay on the video. At times, if your film is in German or Arabic language, you can use a subtitle to add English language to your video so that the mass audience can understand what has been said. For example, I can pick any of these, like I have just dragged and dropped this. It will have the default text and I can type in here. You have this, I double clicked and this window open and I can type in anything that I want. Okay. There are several styles you can also choose from the subtitles. We have this, we have this. So whatever suits your film mood or whatever you want to add, you can just drag and drop and start typing word to word wherever you want it. This one looks pretty much like the National Geographic subtitle that you see when you see any documentary on National Geographic. We also have the end credits. So what are end credits? When a film ends and you see the huge list that scrolls up from down to top with all the cast and crew names in it, well, that's it, that end credit. You can use this to create your own end credits. You can pick and choose from here, like I have chosen this one. And if you see, if I play it from here, isn't it so Hollywood and cinematic style? You can simply put the name of the character. Suppose if you have shot a short film, there are much more you can do over here by selecting other types of end credits. Let me see how this looks. Wonderful. See, this is also looking so cinematic where you're putting this title on the left hand side, introducing the film, starting. Isn't it looking so beautiful and like as if you're watching a Hollywood film. Now moving on to the transition. What are transitions? Transitions are basically the effect that you put in between two clips to blend them from one into another as you edit. Here we go to the transition panels. You can see so many of them. You have the basic, you have 3D, ripple dissolve and lots more. When you're adding a transition, you have to drag and drop the transition in between the two clips and they should have enough of space, as in they should not be too short, otherwise the transition will not be placed. Let me show you a sample. Now I have put this bar transition. Now let's see how the video looks. So you saw how the transition happened from the previous clips of the leaves into the drone shot. Simultaneously, you can look for another transition and see which actually really suits and looks good on your clips. Choosing a transition widely is very important for your video so that the blend happens seamlessly. Now let me show you a quick sample how I would put a transition between a particular clip. I will go back to the sample videos. I will add it here. I will place it here. I will get the other clip where the cyclists are keeping the cycle on the ground. Here we go. Just a little bit of zoom in into these clips. Going to the transition, I will look for a warp transition. Now look how beautiful this looks. So this is giving a fantastic effect. Why? Because when the transition is happening, it is zooming into the clip in a circular blur motion, right where the cycle is having its spokes aligned to the center of the wheel, made the shot look beautiful after adding the transition. Let me play it back again for you. Here we go. Isn't it a good one? Now let's move on from the transition panel to the effects panel with a nice transition. The effect panel is basically a filter like you would use on Instagram. Simply drag and drop it on your clips, boom, and done. Here we go. Let me show you this. For instance, if you add a chromatic aberration, so this is how your video is going to look. So you have to simply choose any of the filter you want from the effect panel and just put it on your clip. You can really use the jazzy filters and make your video really stand out. Let me show you one more over here. You have the radio X-like FX, dragging and dropping it on the beach clip. Look at this. One thing you have to keep in mind when you're adding the effect on your clips, it should not look gaudy. You have to pick and choose the right effect which suits the mood of your clip. We have so many effects over here. Simply drag and drop. You can keep on going down. You have the comic book effect, like you drag and drop it on this particular clip and play it back. It looks like a comic book effect. Moving on from the effects panel now to the elements. Here we go. So as you can see in the elements, there's a lot more. It's more of like digital props. You can add emojis, you can add doodles, and so many elements to your video. All of this is again segregated in a lot of folders, so that it makes easy for you to choose which one you want from a particular category. Like you have hand drawn, you have a tutorial, you have shapes, etc. While adding elements to your clip, in the previous part we saw that when you are using the effect, you dragged and drop it on the clip and the clip absorbed it. But in this case, you have to use a layer above and simply place your element on top of that. Let me show you a sample. For instance, I'm going to take this wow and place it somewhere here, and I'm going to play it back. Now see, beautiful. Again, you can simply trim it as per the clip's duration as much as you want. I'm trimming it only for this much part, and here we go. Wow. If you want to change the blend mode or increase or decrease the opacity, simply double click on the element and you will see all of this stuff here. You can scale it, make it small, make it bigger. You can rotate it as per you want. You can do all of these things by simply double clicking on the element, say OK, and that's about it. You can also go to the compositing part of these settings. You can choose different blend mode like color burn. You can choose lighten, anything as you want. You can reduce the opacity of the element. You can keep it full 100%. It all depends upon you and how you're going to make a use of the particular element in your video. Now coming to the split screen panel, it is very simple. You go to split screen. It's pretty simple to understand, right? Split screen means you're going to split your video on a screen into maybe 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts, depending upon how much you would like to show. Now for instance, I'm going to use this. I simply press the plus icon and it is placed on my timeline wherever I want, on whichever layer. This is going to be blank. I need to choose whatever I want to drag and drop on this. So simply I will go to the sample videos. I choose this video, drag and drop. I choose this one, drag and drop. I will probably choose this one also and then drag and drop. So I have 3 videos which are now a part of the split screen I have put on my timeline. Now remember, if you have a footage which is only 5 seconds, then it is going to only play for 5 seconds on the split screen, and once those 5 seconds is over, it is simply going to go and pause because it does not have enough of footage on it. So when you want to use the split screen, ensure that you have a footage of at least 10 seconds to make good and impactful use of it. So in today's video, we learned something very exciting, isn't it? Now before I tell you what I'm going to show you or teach you in the video next week, please do subscribe. In the upcoming video, I'm going to show you some more advanced things like how to increase your clip speed, decrease your clip speed, chroma screen, lots more color grading, and most important feature of all is the motion tracking. In case you have missed the previous video, the first part, it is right here.